Hello, Chima. Good, thank God. Good to see you. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you.
The Counsel for the Federal Government, Adegboyega Awumolo, SAN, told the at the resumed hearing of Nnamdi Kanu's case, the Counsel for the Federal Government, Adegboyega Awumolo, SAN, told the court that he had earlier filed an ex parte application for the witness to testify behind screens due to the nature of the case and for security reasons, which was granted by the court as there was no objection from Kanu's lawyers. As the government formally opened its case against Kanu, its witness who testified behind the screen told the court that on 14th October 2015, he was assigned with some team members to arrest Kanu at the Golden Tulip Hotel in Lagos. According to the witness, whom the court tagged PWAAA, when they got to the Golden Tulip, the reception showed them the guest manifest of several months and noticed that Kanu's name was not there. They, however, got an order to conduct a room-to-room search of the hotel, which produced Kanu in room 303 with a young lady. The witness noticed that Kanu initially resisted arrest and was in an apartment that looked like a broadcasting studio. He was then taken to the DSS command in Lagos, where the items from his room were listed. The witness went on to read a statement made by Kanu on the same day of his arrest, where the IPOB leader said he set up Radio Biafra because he believes in freedom of speech and that the UN Charter of People's Rights guarantees the right to self-determination. In the same statement, Kanu also noted that he was questioned without his lawyer or any legal representation, so he answered the questions asked him in the best way he could. After giving his evidence in chief, the trial judge, Justice James Obotosho, adjourned to May 2nd for cross-examination.
The matter is very simple. The state has a case against our client, and we are defending him. And for the first time, the matter has been opened, and we have heard what the evidence is. On Friday, we are coming back to cross-examine him. But in the main, the matter has commenced on a good note, very sound note, very civilized trial. And we hope by the grace of God we'll continue on this note and get to the end.
Well, it's quite unfortunate that we have not woken up to understand that you cannot just arrest people because they have equipment on them. When the interview was going on, the leader of IPOB was mentioning in that particular interview that he was just broadcasting, telling the world about what the British government is doing. And there's nothing wrong with him telling the world that we deserve our rights and we deserve what is in London over here, to be treated fairly, to have what they have. Whatever they enjoy, we need to enjoy it in this country.
For the first time in about 10 years, Nnamdi Kanu's case has made headways. The federal government called its first witness today, and they say they have about 5 more witnesses to call. For a matter that has been granted accelerated hearing, Nigerians are eager to know what will be the outcome of this case.
Breaking news. High-profile APC member exposes the party of aiding and abetting terrorism in the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria. Here the news in details. Wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom all over the world, you are welcome once again to Biafra Unite channel / television this very moment. Today's date is 1st of May 2025, and I have very important information and video clip for every one of you listening to my voice right now from wherever you are all over the world. Biafrans and lovers of freedom, it don't happen. And I want you to pay very good attention to this very news, because it's very important. I can assure you, my people. A high-profile member of the ruling All Progressive Congress of the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria, has publicly confessed how the government of the APC terrorist organization, is aiding and abetting terrorism in the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom, Nigeria. I don't want to talk too much because this news is a bomb. This is the kind of news that has to go viral, no matter what it takes, no matter what you do. Even though you don't like the way we propagate our own kind of information or news, you must share this one. Share it all over the social media platforms, because this very news has to go viral. The world must hear this. Finland must get this news at all cost. At all cost. That is the reason why I'm not going to analyze the video. I will allow it to play in full for everyone to be able to watch the video from beginning till the end, that you may get the proper information and hear it from the horse's mouth. Because before releasing the audio of this very video, I'm going to read the profile of the man in question, Solomon Dalong. I will read his profile. He is one of the founding fathers of APC, and he is still a part and parcel or a full-time member of the All Progressive Congress. Now, I don't want to talk too much because I want to read his history first, and then I'll play the full video, so you must stay tuned till the very end of the video. Before doing that, I want to draw your mind, because this is the first day of May. We only have 8 days to go. If you haven't taken leave, you haven't, asked your company for a leave, you better do it now. On the 9th of this very month of May is the day that Biafrans in Finland and some in Europe have come together to fix a protest that will be held in Finland, in Helsinki, Finland, for the immediate and unconditional release of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. If you haven't made up your mind to attend the protest, I don't know what you're waiting for, because there is no time. Any Biafran who is eligible to travel to Helsinki, Finland, and you are not willing to go, not that you are not able to go, but you are not willing to go, you are not willing to go because it's not coming from whoever you are following. And tomorrow you say you love Mazi Simon Ekpa. Oh ya putakwa. Oh ya fa puta. Oh puta result abo. Result ya abo. And I want to remind you, no kwa sonso onye ori, onye na-egbu mmadụ, onye ọjọọ bụ onye ọ na-agba aka kpali ya. Ndị otu ya agbali ya ọsọ. Ndị otu ya ya na-eri na aṅụ. Anarie. Nobody will show face, because onye puta ebuli ya at the same time. E puta ejide gị, because onye abụ onye ọjọọ. So if the Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa, is arrested in Finland and Biafrans will desert him, the ụmụ Igbo gbala onye na-azọfa ndụ ọsọ ebe ọ nọ na nsogbu. I don't know how you reason. All of you waiting for your master or whoever you are following to give you order to go. I don't know how you reason. Aka ji onye kpọrọ your love, your master, onye ihe opuru ya na-azọgide ya azọgị ndụ, aka akpali ya. Then an app for protest is, it has to come from a certain individual. It has to come from a certain group of people. I don't know how you reason. At the end of the day, you did not hear anything from that certain individual you are waiting for. What are you going to tell our Prime Minister when he finally comes out? What are you going to tell Biafrans that you did not attend when you have opportunity to do so? So my people, the time is now. We must stand in solidarity with our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. Don't wait for anybody. You may not receive any order from anybody to attend or to, participate. You may not receive it now. Stand up now. Stand up for him now. Now is the time. We need to send message to Finnish authority that the man you are holding is innocent. He is a man who is fighting for the freedom of his own people. So we must stand in solidarity with him, show to Finland that he is innocent. And our message will definitely be delivered to the relevant authority for the unconditional and immediate release of our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. So the inquiry number is on your screen. Inquiry number for Finland protest for the release of Simon Ekpa. Please call +358 40 6561. This is the official number. Nobody's asking you to pay any money. You can go that same day and go back to your destination that same day, as the protest is only but 1 hour 30 minutes. So my people, please, if you need any detail or inquiry, kindly call this very number. Everything that you need will be sorted out. Thank you. Let us go back into the news. So according to Wikipedia, Solomon Selkap Dalong is a Nigerian lawyer, academic and politician who served as the Minister of Youth and Sports of Nigeria from November 2015 to May 2019. He has served in the Nigerian Prison Service, the University of Jos as a lecturer, and as chairman of Langtan South Local Government in Plateau State. This is coming from Wikipedia. Plateau State. I will tell you the reason why he is now talking, because so many of you will say, but if he's still a member of APC, or if he was even a member of APC, why would he expose them? Listen, he started exposing them because he can no longer keep quiet. What he's saying now is something that he has already known from beginning. You understand? He knows. But because because it has not happened to him. It has not been happening in his hometown. That's why he has been taking it for granted. Right now, it's happening in his own village. He has now beginning to speak. He is now speaking because the Fulanis are wreaking havoc in his village, slaughtering innocent people, taking over their ancestral homes. That is the reason why a founding father of APC terrorist organization is now speaking. Are you paying attention? Because those that they brought in to usurp Jonathan Ebele Goodluck in 2015 have turned to something else against the indigenous people. They no one go again. The agreement don't fail. So now it's happening in his own village, and he is now running around like headless chicken, calling APC. Now let's continue. Born 26 September 1964, age 60 years, Plateau, Nigeria. Pay attention. Education: University of Jos, Main Campus, the Nigerian Law School. Then party, All Progressive Congress. Meaning that he is still a member of the terrorist organization All Progressive Congress, APC. Are you paying attention? He is still, because this is today's, information about this man all along. Not yesterday, is about today. And you are going to hear him mention his age in the video, 60 years. So this is today. I am the one who extracted this information from Wikipedia. This is his current position as APC member. Now look at it. Previous office, Minister of Youth and Sports of Nigeria from 2015 to 2019. So I don't want to talk anything because the video is long. So I want you to pay attention. Watch the video from beginning till the very end of it. And make it go viral.
Understood that we either come together collectively and fight, or we also die collectively as fools. This is just basically what is the motivating drive there. If you look at the state of insecurity, its dynamics, and how it's been spreading across the country. So we needed Nigerians to know that, look, the state with its apparatus seems to be interested more in protecting themselves and not the people. And the people cannot just fold their arms and surrender to a few group of criminals carrying arms, with government conveniently renaming them with one nomenclature to the other. So that is basically it. For Nigerians to trust me, it's basically left for Nigerians. I've been living here. And so they know me very well. Whether of the 60 years I have lived, the 4 years of participation in Buhari's government outweighs the remaining 56 years. It's left for Nigerians to assess. But that will not preclude me from raising alarm when it is clear that eminently my country is facing great challenge and I should draw the attention of Nigeria. So the issue of integrity is not personal. It is left for the people to decide. Trust is an asset. If they believe that I'm worthy of trusting it and doing it, they will. But then we are all humans. Otherwise, nobody would have made it. It is clear in all religions. If you know you are wrong, you admit and apologize. And I've done that as a human being. I'm not a perfect being. Neither am I Angel Gabriel.
Mr. Dalong, so let's get to the nitty-gritty of some of the issues that are facing the country. I was listening to the Minister of Aviation yesterday, and he was talking about the fact that under this administration, more monies have been given to the subnationals, and I agree with him, that's a fact. And that is simple, and there's a cost to that as well. So the federal government has stopped paying subsidy for PMS, has stopped subsidizing FX, has also stopped partly subsidizing electricity. So all of that should have been channeled either directly or indirectly to that cause is now funneled into the federation account, which is shared among the subnationals and the federal government and the state government, or the federation in that sense. So there's generally more money, and some governors are even saying now that they've not borrowed since they came into office. And they've also talked about the fact that our debt to revenue ratio usually was about 90-something%, about 96, 98. Now it's about 68. So that 30%, that chunk of that, the management of that fund is now plowed back into the economy to build some of the things they are building. But the argument is, for those who understand economics will know that more money doesn't mean development in that sense.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about some things that are low-hanging fruits, that no matter the projection that this government has in terms of their policy direction, if it's not sorted, all of the effort of the president is going to go to waste, and that's a fact. It's just a matter of time you get to see. Number one, and I want to take them in steps, I want you to speak about fighting corruption, because if somebody is allegedly corrupt and he sees more money, he steals. If you give him more money, he will steal more money. So let's talk about the effort at fighting corruption from where you sit under this administration. Are you seeing that effort to really fight corruption? The president has said that his own effort at fighting corruption maybe is to increase wages of workers and all of that. Well, that is his own argument. But talk about the effort at fighting corruption, because there's corruption everywhere. The federal, the state, security, civil service is everywhere, and it's eating deep into our fabric.
The best method of fighting corruption is exemplary leadership. If the leader, by his conduct, represents what he says, people will believe him, and everybody in the society will queue up and begin to behave like the leader. So this government, to be very honest and modest with words, their effort is just enabling corruption. Because I say this with references to the conduct, behavior, and attitude of those who hold positions in government. There was a time the Senate president was announcing a recess in the Senate, and he told them, "I'm going to send some thing into your account." And when he realized that the mic was on, he changed and said, "Oh, I'm going to send you emails." I mean, 250 million Nigerians, very intelligent, hardworking, brilliant people, good people, sweet souls. You will just take us to be a community of performance. So, to me, I don't see much effort. I only see more efforts in enabling corruption. And if you look at the abuse of procurement processes by this administration, they are awarding a contract of 1.7 or thereabout trillion without proper procurement procedures from the comfort of your bedroom and to a friend with a family member who is a director in the company. This is not even different from what has happened under President Muhammadu Buhari, where the Accountant General, who is supposed to be the custodian of the funds of the peoples of Nigeria, in one transaction made away with 109 billion. Until today, the man has been rewarded with the traditional title. So I don't see any effort as such, because the lifestyle of people in government who are calling Nigerians to sacrifice does not at all depict sacrifice. They live large, they live lavishly, while Nigerians languish in hunger and poverty. So corruption has won the battle. Corruption has triumphed. And I'm afraid even we discussing corruption now, corruption may visit us immediately. So it takes some courage and risks for you to talk about it. In future, I foresee a situation where for you to be appointed, your CV must contain corruption capacity before you will be appointed if nothing is done.
Let's talk about the security challenge now. And again, I'd like you to, reflect on matters arising within the context of what is happening, particularly with response to this challenge. First of all, on the one hand, politicians are not agreed on the identity of those who are perpetrating, these crimes in Nigeria's North Central, your state, home state Plateau, and Benue State. We've heard, a member of the cabinet in Benue State telling us here that, these people are herders, and he identified them with specificity. But, the governor spoke later on our own program, our sister political program, saying that these people are foreign, are of foreign extraction. What's your own theory about the identities of the people, the criminal elements who are, causing havoc in these states in Nigeria? And what would be your assessment of the governor's explanation? Have they been forthright in bringing the federal government to account with regards to responding, with manpower and equipment to tackle these challenges, those two issues?
If we want to be honest with the identity of, the new wave of criminality, which is terrorism, that has existential potentials and genocidal intentions, we'll have to go back and take a great study at the popular speech of Baraje, the former National Secretary of APC, who confessed on his 70th birthday that in the build up to 2015, the APC imported mercenaries into Nigeria to facilitate its victory. Now, that was the National Secretary of the party. He had more knowledge about what happened more than every other person. Even myself, as a founding member of the party, I didn't know that much until that public outburst. So if you pick his statement and then you align it, you now adopt a deeper critical analysis of the statement of Governor Leah and some of the statements of people from the platform, what I have also said as a person, you will form consensus along the line, or there will be a conference of ideas that basically those who are attacking our people are foreign mercenaries. They may have identities from what we hear from our local people, looking like some indigenous communities in Nigeria, especially the Fulanis, but they speak, languages they speak are too exotic to the Nigerian ethnic phyla. So basically, we are dealing with a more complex terrorism that, if you look at their pattern of attacks, is so advanced and is intended to wipe completely the human community of their ancestral lands and completely take over. And the governor of Plateau State has given us a hint to it when he said there are over 64 communities currently under their control. So I think I agree more with the governor, and I don't want to join the complicity of trying to reduce it to communal or farmer-herder clashes. Those elements may exist, but they are microscopic. Then back to the roles of the chief executives of the subnational governments. Disappointingly too, they have not lived up to their expectations. Majority of them spend their time in Abuja. They only go back to their states when there is any problem. So they are more or less like cosmopolitan chief executive living in Abuja and then ruling by proxy. And this is the reason why insecurity has been escalating. So when you take what was the first question, the monies from the proceeds of the fuel subsidy flowing to the subnational governments, and then without any meaningful impact, but with poverty and hunger, insecurity rising astronomically, you will come to a conclusion that the subnational government cannot be exonerated from the failure, which is now the chorus on the mouths of most Nigerians. There are low-hanging fruits that the subnational governments can harvest to try to augment the situation. Fighting poverty must not be an issue of the federal government. The states should have dealt with the issue of poverty. The states would have run their economies in a manner that will put food and bring succor to their people. So
Dalong, because of time, if I may butt in, my apologies. So let's stay with that issue of security for a bit, which you have talked about. Everybody has to take responsibility, including the subnationals. But as my colleague Bukola has said about even identifying who is responsible, is a political conversation in that sense. On one hand, we've had a conversation within the same government of Benue. One is saying is suspected headers from Fulani ethnic nationalities, the criminal elements of that header group. The governor is saying, no, they are foreigners, maybe from somewhere else. So there's a lot of inconsistency and contradiction wherever you look. There are people that have said that there is even, it's a bit more complicated than we think. But there's something that seems to be the common thread here, what the intention is of these people. So from where you sit and what you know, what is really the intention? Some are saying it's annihilation, some are saying it's ethnic cleansing, some are saying it's land grabbing, all kinds of potpourri. But you are from that area. What exactly are these people looking for?
Reviewing their activities, pattern of attack, identity, and aligning it with experiences of other places, I have come to the conclusion that these criminals are mercenaries brought to grab land, so they will exterminate the ancestral communities. These lands are taken, and for what purpose will the land be taken? The land will be taken for economic activities. If you look at just plateau of recent, there is a rising profile of artisanal mining by local people. So the rich mineral deposit in those areas, especially the Bokos axis, where you have rich forest reserve, the land itself is also rich in minerals. Of course, these people are just enablers of a larger conspiracy to eliminate the people, take over their lands, and then mining activities will continue like what is obtainable in Zamfara now. So for me, that basically appears to be. And why has little attention not given to this? Because of the complicity of the political elites. Because if you look at their explanation now, I mean, within the same government, they are double speaking about the identities of these criminals, when we know as a fact from available evidence that they are mercenaries and they are not indigenous Fulani, because the pattern of their attack, which is genocidal, they wipe everything on the face of the earth, everything living.
So, Mr. Dalong,
take over the place.
If that is the case, and as you have said, that you cannot absolve the governors of, incapacity to tackle this, what then is the option left to the, locals, the indigenes in these areas, in terms of defending themselves? And for the, the executives at the subnationals, is it as a result of lethargy or, political expediency that they are unable to be forthright with the federal government about what the real needs of security are in their domain? Because if the police only go to the areas where these crimes have been committed, to carry the dead bodies, then there is a very strong issue about deterrence.
What's it about?
Well, you see, the subnational governments have already been intimidated by the federal government. So the governors are behaving like school children before the headmaster, because they are too uncertain about what they should do. Their tenure is even not guaranteed. So they have to now rely solely on pleasing the government at the center, so that they are not visited with either state of emergency or the crisis will fester and they lose their relevance. So that is understandable. But the only option now open for the people, which I've aligned myself with, is the option suggested by the DG of DSS. He called it the first line of action, but I christen it as the homegrown solution. These communities were not conquered communities, and before the advent of colonialism, they fought wars, defended themselves. So there are cultural, traditional mechanisms left behind by our ancestors to defend that land. Therefore, we need to come together and face these people headlong. Secondly, the experiment of the homegrown solution has succeeded even in Plateau. The Terror people between 2001 and 2005 came under barrage of attacks from mercenaries. What saved them was the courage of coming together on hearing alarm that they are coming, they are coming. The community moves out in number, and there is strength in number, and this will intimidate them, and they will take to their heels, and advantage is taken. It has also been practiced in Azare, where Boko Haram attacked Azare, and the people came out in number. So I am of the very strong contention that the homegrown solution of the people coming together and defending themselves is the best option.
Mr. Solomon Dalong is a lawyer and former Minister of Youth and Sports Development, joining us virtually. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program and for your views as well on the issues raised on the program. Thank you.
All right, still on this issue of Nnamdi Kanu. Do not forget that you are watching Let's Talk TV, your one and only YouTube platform that gives you quality news and information on every activity is happening and trending in Biafran territory. One thing you're sure of getting here is only the legit news. Now, the issue of Nnamdi Kanu is currently going, and their case was actually called in about an hour ago. So we are still getting more information concerning the case, but one thing you're assured is that you will get all the information concerning the case. Now, the major issue today is that the court will be questioning those witnesses that came out against Nnamdi Kanu. So today is actually going to be a very dicey one. It is actually going to be a very critical one, because those who claim that they are the witnesses of the zoo, that they are witnessing against Nnamdi Kanu, how he was inciting violence, in the country, inciting violence in Biafran land and the rest of the country, just the same way they are holding Simon Ekpa and Joko for also inciting violence. Now, those people need to come out and explain some certain things. How did Nnamdi Kanu incite violence? That is the question, that is, they should answer. How he was able to incite violence, that is one of the questions they will be answering. So it is going to be a very dicey case today. But in all this, the reality is that we are hoping, we're praying, and we are optimistic that come what may, that freedom will come to Nnamdi Kanu as quickly as possible. Remember, after today's case, I think the next court case should be the judgment, where the presiding judge will give the judgment and the final ruling on that case. And honestly speaking, we are hoping, like I said, that things will turn out in favor of Nnamdi Kanu, because it has taken a very long time. So I want everybody who has actually watched this video or who is joining us now, to try as much as possible to participate, by going to the comment section and giving your own input, just like we asked in the last court hearing. Do you think that the zoo is capable enough to give Nnamdi Kanu a fair trial? That is the first question. Do you think that the zoo is capable enough to give Nnamdi Kanu a fair trial? That is the presiding judge, rather, or Motosho. Will he do the needful? Will he follow the rule of law? Will he be fair enough, to give freedom to the innocent man, who did not commit any crime? At least we know, the world knows, and the reality still remains that, the zoo also knows that Nnamdi Kanu did not commit any known crime known to humanity, known to any law, both local and international law. Yes, so they give him a fair, hearing and a fair trial at the end of this whole shenanigan? Because for me, this is just an issue of going back and forth in something the truth is just there, just going around the circuit over and over and over and over and over again, just to delay justice. This is actually what they've been doing, and it is their pattern. They've done it for a very long time. Justice delayed is justice denied. That is the pattern of the zoo. So do you think Nnamdi Kanu will be given fair trial? Go to the comment section and give us your own input as we continue to give more updated on